Just listen to that. In the beginning of time, the great chaos roared. Before anything we know, there was just nothing. A huge, quiet, magical emptiness. And that is right where our story kicks off, deep in the heart of the ancient North cosmos. All right, so let's get into it. We're about to take a deep dive into the secrets of the Norse runes. And I want you to forget everything you think you know. Because these aren't just some old letters from a dead alphabet. No. They're a whole system of magic. A key, really, to unlocking a universe filled with gods, giants, and, well, a prophesied doom. And to really get a handle on their power, we first have to understand the world that they came from.
And yeah, that means we've got to peel back all those layers of modern myths. You know, the cartoons, the comic books. The real story, it's way more complex. And honestly, so much more fascinating.
So, let me just ask you straight up. What pops into your head when you think Norse mythology? Is it big guys with horned helmets? Gods that can't be beaten? Because the reality is something else, something way different.
And here's where you can really see the difference. Over on one side, you've got the pop culture version, right? It's simple, it's black and white. But then you look at the actual source material, the Eddas and the sagas, and wow, you find this universe with incredible depth. A cosmos with 9 different interconnected worlds. And the gods? They weren't superheroes. They had flaws. They were mortal. They could die. And the craziest part? They knew their world was fated to end.
Okay, so let's start there. Let's map out this incredible stage, these 9 worlds where all these epic and often tragic stories play out.
So at the very center of everything, holding the entire Norse cosmos together, is this one massive ash tree. It's called Yggdrasil. You can think of it as the spine of reality, a cosmic pillar that connects every single plane of existence.
And Yggdrasil is way more than just a tree. It's like a cosmic superhighway between all the worlds. Its roots reach way down into the misty cold of Niflheim, the world of ice, while its very top branches are getting singed by the flames of Muspelheim, the world of fire. And it's these two polar opposites, fire and ice, that actually created the universe in the first place.
And then, tucked in between those two extremes of fire and ice, you've got all the other realms. There's Midgard, the Middle Garden. That's us. That's our world. Look up and you've got Asgard, the home of the main tribe of gods, the Aesir. Dig down deep into the earth and you'll hit Svartalfheim, the realm of the master craftsmen, the dwarves. You know, the ones who made all the gods' coolest weapons? Every single one of these worlds is a totally unique piece of this giant cosmic puzzle.
Okay, so we have our map, we have the stage. Now let's talk about the actors, the beings who live in these worlds. And trust me, these aren't your typical can't-be-destroyed gods.
The divine world was basically split into different teams. First up, you have the Aesir, think Odin, Thor. They're all about order, power, and war. Then you've got the Vanir, who are more connected to the earth, fertility, and magic. That's where you find Freya and Freya. And then, always stirring things up, you have the Jotnar, the giants. Now, they aren't always evil in the way we think of it, but they represent the wild, chaotic forces of nature. And it's the constant clash between these groups that really drives the whole mythology forward.
But here's the thing, and this is probably the most important part to understand. The Norse gods were born, which means they could also die. Just like us, they were tied to fate. They weren't in some epic fight for eternal victory. No, they were fighting a battle they knew they were going to lose against a doom that was already written in the stars.
And that prophecy, that's the doom we're talking about. It's the story of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. It's the end of the world battle, where all the big names, Odin, Thor, Tyr, are destined to die. And knowing that, knowing their own end was coming, that's what gives their stories so much power, so much tragedy.
Okay, so now we get it, right? We have this complex universe, these interconnected worlds, gods who are mortal, and a destiny of doom. With all that in our heads, now we can finally start to unlock the secrets of their deepest wisdom, the runes.
First things first, please, forget the idea that runes are just letters. That's like looking at a sheet of music and saying it's just a bunch of dots. It's so much more. Runes are symbols. They represent the actual fundamental forces of the universe. They're a tool for magic, a way to understand fate, and a path to, well, to evolving spiritually.
The oldest, and really the most foundational system that we know about, is called the Elder Futhark. And it's made up of just 24 symbols. That's it. 24 keys to unlock the entire cosmos. And each one has its own name, its own sound, and its own incredibly deep layered meaning.
And these 24 runes aren't just thrown together randomly. Not at all. They're neatly organized into 3 families of 8, and these families are called the Etir. You can almost think of this structure as a map of consciousness.
And here is that map. It's a journey, really. It starts with the first Et, which is connected to the gods Frey and Freya. This whole family of runes is about the material world, survival, money, how we talk to each other, our physical bodies. Then, once you've got a handle on that, the second Et takes you inward. This one's all about our emotional world, our internal struggles, the big forces of nature that mess with our heads. And finally, the third Et, this is the big one. It goes beyond all that and deals with our highest spiritual growth, our legacy, and how we fit into the world. It's a complete journey from the physical all the way to the divine.
So, what's the point of all this for us, right now? Well, this isn't just some dusty old history lesson. It's a living, breathing system of wisdom.
The author of our source material, Mirella Faur, says it perfectly. The runes are a legacy that was kept alive for a reason. They give us a really powerful way to understand ourselves and where we fit in the grand scheme of things.
So if any of this sounds like a journey you'd want to take, the path is actually pretty clear. Step 1, you just start by learning the symbols. Step 2, you dive into the mythology, the stories that make them come alive. And the final step, you use all that knowledge to connect the spiritual and the material in your own life, to really see how everything is deeply connected.
Because in the end, the secrets of the Norse cosmos, they're not just stories from a long, long time ago. They're like a mirror, reflecting our own inner world. They're a legacy, a map that was left behind for us. So the only real question left is, what ancient wisdom is waiting for you to rediscover?